Hey there, I'm David Shea, Phi Psi Mass Beta class of 92, and now the chairman of the Alumni Association. And if you're watching this video, I'm going to guess that you are also a fellow alumni and that you're interested in getting an update on the status of the campaign to purchase the Hammer Street house. So you probably also know then that we were doing a good deal more messaging in the beginning of the summer about this, and we were really revving up. And then we've got a little bit silent after that between then and now. And that's because there have been some behind the scenes twists and turns and, in our efforts to go ahead and secure this, to lock up the purchase of the house. And that's why we wanted to make this video, because we're now at a place where we're ready to move forward. And so we wanted to, again, give you all the details. So we'll keep it tight, but I'm going to first hand it off to Neil Spindell, class of 90, who's going to lay out sort of what's gone on so far and where we've been. And then you'll hear from Mark Appel, and he's going to talk to you about, how we're ready to move on with the fundraising efforts, and what that's going to look like and what to get excited about. We'll also give you an update on the chapter itself. You'll hear from the president, Eli Schrag. So that'll be cool. And so in effort to keep it tight, without further ado, I'll go ahead and turn it over to Neil Spindell, who is the president of the Mass Beta Alumni and Housing Corporation. Neil.
Thank you, Dave. Hello, all. Great to finally be back. Mark and I have really been eager to update everyone, but we hit a bit of a snag. And we really wanted to be able to give you guys a firm update, and it just took a lot longer than we expected to get to that point. We did run into some zoning concerns. There was no actual issue with the city or anything like that, but we did discover some things that needed to be talked through, and out of an abundance of caution, we had a pretty lengthy engagement with a law firm that the National Foundation hired. And there was also a very prominent Waltham zoning lawyer that Mark and I consulted together on our own. He normally does business on Hammer Street many times a week, knows our house well, and has been doing nothing but Waltham zoning for his entire career. So all of this took longer than expected, but after we considered all the facts, the laws, the nuances, the history, the risks, we are very comfortable moving forward with purchasing this house by the Alumni Corporation. So we are ready to double down on what we started over the summer and make this a reality. The timing was a bit unfortunate in that we had just kicked everything off and launched all the websites for the donations, and everything was live. And then all of this came up with National, and it sort of put the brakes on everything that we were doing. And as a result of that, there is one positive that came about because of all this delay. We are no longer up against the December 31st deadline. National has changed the terms of the master lease, so our purchase option now goes through the school year, through May. So Mark is going to go into the fundraising next, but suffice it to say, we've now got breathing room in the calendar, so we can ramp things back up and get it done. On that note, here's Mark.
Thanks, Neil. Yeah, it's been a really frustrating time, to be honest with you all, simply because we wanted to get back in front of you, the chapter and the alumni and the brothers, and let you know what's going on. And finally we can do that. And thanks to National, we have more time. Not an eternity. We have until the end of May. Essentially, which is, an additional 5 months, but I think it's enough time, and we've actually had a pretty good start. So let me update you on what we've done so far. The fundraiser has been going on now since June when we launched it, and we've raised $96,000. So that's a tremendous start. Especially given that we haven't really been pushing that hard and getting out in front of people. We have about $20,000 up front. and about $1,000 coming in every month for the next 5 years. Remember, our goal is $300,000. So, we're reaching out again to all of you to commit to supporting the fraternity by donating. You're going to find links to the 2 methods to donate attached to this video. Remember, there's the tax deductible route via the National Foundation. That you may want to consider the fact that we're approaching the end of the year. And if you're going to take advantage of the tax deduction, you want to get that in before the end of December. On the other hand, if you if that tax deduction doesn't matter as much to you and you want to donate directly to the Alumni Corporation, then you can donate via the donor box link, and that will really help us out. We really want to make sure we're out in front of you guys on a regular basis going forward. So we plan to give you guys an update every 2 weeks as to how things are going with the fundraiser. And we're going to be launching a call drive with the chapter brothers in January over their winter break, where we plan to call and reach out to every alumni that we have a contact for, and really try to jumpstart this fundraiser. So thanks for stopping by and listening to this. And I'll pass it over to Eli now, who's going to give us an update on how things are going with the chapter this semester.
Thanks, Mark, for the update. So I'm going to give a quick chapter update, but before I do that, I just want to give a really big shout out to Neil and Mark and Dave. They've been doing a really phenomenal job, and going back and forth with lawyers and nationals is not really the most fun activity they could be doing. But they've been putting in the work to make this happen, and we really, really appreciate it. So in terms of the chapter, I would say the Brotherhood is really strong right now. We've got 46 active members, and we've got 9 pledges right now. We've recently had an alumni weekend. It was really fun. It was really great to see some of those older guys, and alumni weekend's probably one of my favorite weekends of the year. So thanks to everyone who came by for that. In terms of I Am Sports, which is something we care about a lot and we've been having a lot of fun with in recent years. We're back to back I Am Soccer champions. So that's been really fun. And then in terms of I Am Football, which is something that is more of a mass beta tradition that goes back a number of years. We had the best team that I've been a part of in recent years this year. We pretty much won every single regular season game, blew out the quarterfinal team 48-0, played the varsity baseball team in the semifinals. That was a pretty close game, but we won by a couple touchdowns. Sent us to the finals that we ended up, unfortunately, we lost that to the club basketball team. They had a really good team this year, so it was a very close, tough fought finals. But we had a lot of fun with that, and that's something we really enjoy. Something else we're really looking forward to this year is actually in 1 week, we're going to be having our first ever destination formal in Montreal. So we booked a hotel and we booked a venue, and everyone's going to bring a date. We got a bunch of people to volunteer to drive, and we're going to go to Montreal next weekend. So that's something we're really excited about. It's going to be really fun. And maybe that'll turn into a tradition, something we do every year or once a year. And then in terms of the house is it's been in better condition, but it's definitely livable. And we've been having a lot of fun here, done some really good parties, and we've actually got a surprisingly good relationship with our neighbor Sandy. we've had problems with in the past. Probably the best relations with her that I've ever seen. So that's actually been very useful. And yeah, I just feel like the house is it's really been the bedrock of the chapter since I've been here. And we really want to invest in it and, make it a permanent home for Mass Beta, and also make it a better home for Mass Beta. Yeah, so I'm going to pass it over to David Shea.
Thanks, Eli, for that update. Sounds like things are really going great. So that's really all we had to let you guys know. Again, it was just to sort of jumpstart this thing again and make sure you understood where everything stands. So I hope everything was clear. If you have any questions or any comments, I mean, the usual channels will do. Obviously, Facebook is a place where we all communicate well together. So feel free to jump on there and ask questions and touch base. And also, you can also email Neil and or Mark directly, and their email addresses will be included with this video down in the descriptions or in the comment section on Facebook, or you'll figure it out. But anyway, we do look forward to catching up more. As Mark said, we're going to try to do this more often, maybe every 2 weeks. Actually love your feedback if a video that you can watch is easier or better than a live meeting. This worked out well for us as well, and we're up for doing whatever is easiest. But thanks everyone for your support. Really exciting stuff. We've been talking about this for a long time, but if we can really make this happen, or when we can really make this happen, it's going to be fantastic for the chapter moving forward. And again, thanks for your time. Have a great night or afternoon or whenever you're watching this.